I went ahead and purchased something I've been eyeing for a little bit of time here. This is the NOSSK Cyclone pulley bodyweight trainer. It is basically a suspension trainer, but I'm told from the owner of this company that the term suspension trainer is actually patented by the big dog, the yellow and black TRX company, which is why you won't see these guys advertise their products as suspension trainers. I think they're called, the acronym is No Ordinary Suspension System Kit or something like that. A number of reasons why I chose to pick up and review this suspension trainer. First off, it is extremely affordable. It's one of the most affordable ones on the market. There's one or two of you guys who's been emailing me throughout the years to check out this company, and to be honest, once I took a glance at the actual product page, I just thought these seemed kind of like very cheap and almost too cheap, but according to the owner, these things are actually hand assembled in the USA. There's some foreign parts. I believe most of the fabric or rope or canvas actual straps is from military grade material in the US. I can attest that it definitely have a good fan base because the people that have written into me have sworn by the quality of their products despite the relatively low price tag and easy cost of entry. And the owner did tell me when you buy one of these things, they're essentially built to last a lifetime. There are little cons I'll touch on, some quality of life things I noticed with this particular one. But like I said at the start of the video, I did pay money for this. The owner, Wolfgang believes his name, he's gonna send me some other suspension trainers. If you guys wanna see a more comprehensive review of a bunch of other suspension trainers paired against each other, let me know, because I have a decent number of suspension trainers I've collected throughout the years. In fact, many of them I've actually sold. I've shared briefly on this channel. I was super into suspension training, just kind of fell out of it a little bit out of time. Last few years, didn't really have a good solid anchor point. That's the real reason why. If I was doing outdoor workouts, I think this thing first came out like around 2000, early 2000s, when the TRX came out. And I first got a TRX, and people used to ask me, where I got this thing. And there was actually a gym that used to pay me to actually do TRX classes introducing people to how to use them, because at that time they wouldn't allow people to actually string up these suspension trainers in gyms. Now you see them all over the place. I did get into rings, Olympic rings a little bit. I always loved the bottom strap for the versatility and the variety of exercises you guys can do with suspension trainers. So that's why I really kind of like single system unit suspension trainers. I have the Lifeline, of course, like I said, I have rings, I have other straps that have dual straps, and some people prefer those over single strap systems. This would be like a single strap system, kind of like a TRX2 where you just have one anchor point. But the reason I was eyeing this NOSSK is years ago, my favorite suspension trainer I picked up was called, I believe it's the Crosscore War Machine. The original model. They actually make a new one that is very expensive. I think the original one was also very expensive. I sold that on eBay years ago, which I really regret doing. And so I was looking for a more affordable pulley related system. There's some other ones. I have the Bullworker, which uses the carabiner clip, but that is not going to be as fluid. I reviewed the F2 Fusion trainer. I think it goes by something else, but that also has some built-in friction. This one was the closest thing I could find that was also very affordable for a lot of you guys, which, by the way, there is an affiliate link for this. If you want to help support me and the channel, you guys want to buy me a cup of coffee, that's about the equivalent of any kind of kickback I get. Fortunately, I have no discount codes because this thing is so inexpensive. So it really helps support me if you guys to check it out. But with all that said, I think the pulley has a lot of advantages over the strap-based system. Again, there are pros and cons, but what I like about the pulley is that one of the issues I have with suspension trainers, while you definitely can dial in that tension, I'm a big believer in finding those exercises that really target increased tension on the muscle. And what I like about the pulley is, well, a number of things. You can do a lot of range of motion type exercises. You can do some stretching exercises. There is some little natural instability. Some pulley trainers, I think you can actually lock in the pulley so it does not move, but I find the instability really isn't that big a deal. But what I like about the pulley, it is kind of deceiving, is that I find you can kind of keep and use your body weight and manipulate the tension enough where a lot of the stuff you can do kind of single arm stuff, whether it's flies, presses, rows, and even curls, tricep extensions, and just kind of use your body weight and also how much you're leaning forward or back to dissipate that weight and give you some nice consistent tension that really does feel like you're mimicking a weight stack or some sort of a cable pulley. And that's what's also great about this thing, is that you can use this as a pulley. If you're looking for a low budget option to kind of rig something, people have pulley rig systems all over the place. You can put this rope, wrap it around. I wrapped it on my kettlebell, my Ironmaster kettlebell, and back exercises felt great. Tricep press downs. If you heard me in the channel, those are the big reasons why I even want to get a functional weight stack, because I love tricep extensions with a weight stack, even pull downs. Bicep curls I can get equivalent with other machines. So if you're looking for a low budget way, like you have a squat rack, or even probably you pull it off with a door anchor, you can rig this thing to some external weight and do some tricep press downs. I was actually using the Vector handles, which I've used those many times in the channel, but you could rig up some carabiner clips. What I particularly love about single systems, regardless if you're using a pulley or not, is just the ease of use. You can just throw these things in a backpack, and oftentimes that's what I did. Many fond memories of my late 20s going to this local high school when I used to live somewhere else, and I would just go do a bunch of laps. I would do some suspension trainer reps and sets, very similar to a workout you guys are seeing here, other exercises you guys are seeing here, and I didn't have to worry about like a really even surface. I could just throw it around anything, and again, I love the versatility of just the pulley. With the rope, what's also great about this is that unlike canvas, sometimes canvas is always gonna maybe touch a little bit. There are some tricks to kind of get around your arm, but even if this thing does rub against your arm, it's a lot less friction and less kind of sharp edges compared to a normal flat canvas like you would see in a TRX or other systems that are out there. Now I'm just gonna go over what you get in this package or kit, and I will say it's pretty cool. It's a family-owned company, so the Wolfgang, the owner, does sign it and gives you a little note, which is nice. Gives you a list of exercises, although I will say with suspension training in general, I think everything is very subtle in how you kind of make these exercises really hit or feel good. I mean, yes, you could do these, getting something out of it, but I'll just say I think there's a certain way to perform them, at least for me personally, that you get more out of them than just kind of going through the motions. So what you get out of here is just these basic components. I'll go over this. You get the straps kind of raw out of the box. You get the basic pulley. They give you a nice little tote bag. It's decent kind of quality there, fits in there nicely. Clever little system here that allows you to kind of extend the strap, also with a built-in door anchor. You can rig this thing a number of ways. You'll see the note in the description here in the back about kind of proper ways to set it up and just some things to kind of consider. It talks about with anchoring this, you don't want to double loop it. I just want a single strap. This way you can allow this thing to kind of freely move. You will see an image earlier when I was doing the cable press downs with the pulley that I eventually just threw a swivel on, and I'll just show you that briefly. You guys know if you watch the channel, I swear by these things. I'll link them down below. These are a mainstay for my Total Gym sliding bench training. It's actually a great little feature to have in general, and this works out really good with something like this. So you have this nice freedom of movement when you're doing various exercises. Now the pulley itself is pretty simplistic. I will say I noticed, and this wasn't been used that much, it is smooth. It's not super smooth. There was some little bit of a friction or just like this squeaky noise, and I'll cut to a noise here. You guys can hear that. But then I just sprayed a little WD-40 on it, moved a little bit smoother, and that squeakiness kind of went away. So just kind of grease this down a little bit. I think you'll be fine. Notice the rope gets dirty pretty fast. Just haven't been using this that much. I'm just using it in the garage. Haven't brought it outside, but that rope gets a little dirty, but very simple in the way you kind of rig this thing and set it up. They do give you 2 carabiners. Another one's over here. Might as well show you up close of the handle. Nothing too crazy to write home about. It is this kind of a foam material. It's not super squishy, seems dense enough. It says this, I mean, he did say this stuff is built to last for a while, but I can see where something like this is going to wear and tear maybe over time. But again, this stuff is pretty inexpensive. You could always rig up your own thing here. I'm sure the rope isn't going to break anytime soon, and he was also pretty passionate about the type of strength of the fabric that they use here. But overall, just kind of basic right here. All right, now I'm just going to show you how you put this knot together. It's very simple and works pretty good. They do give you some instructions in the manual, of course. You basically lay it flat like this. You're going to go over the top of the rope, go underneath, look something like this. You're just going to repeat that step again, go over the rope, pull back underneath, and then at this point in time you just cinch it close together like this, so they're all in a straight line, and then you just pull, more or less kind of something like that, and you're ready to go. Now when you have this downward pressure, it's not moving anywhere. What you kind of want it to do is, see how that rope's kind of over it? I noticed if there was any kind of aggression in moving this thing, just as long as these are kind of laying over each other like this, it's pretty easy to move it up and down. You can see how easy it is to move. If it ever gets stuck, it's really not a giant deal, but if this rope's over, you just got to pull a little harder. Otherwise, at the end of the day, very easy to manipulate the rope, and surprisingly stays on totally good. So in summary, I love this thing. There are definitely some sacrifices you guys are making, but those sacrifices might not be worth it. The extra, say almost $200 you would spend on some of the other pulley-based systems that are out there, or just the other more expensive suspension trainers. I'm gonna see how time goes on, how much I really do love this. I hate to say this is my favorite, but as of right now, of all the suspension trainers that I currently own, but most importantly, I'm having a lot of fun and had some great workouts using this Cyclone trainer. It's probably one of the few suspension trainers that is getting me back into doing suspension training again. Also, just having this solid, racked up functional trainer is good too with the hooks is always helpful. So I can see myself using this a lot in the future. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm gonna explore some other pulleys, some other suspension trainers because I'm getting more of an interest in it. If you guys wanna see more coverage of suspension training, workouts, exercises, definitely let me know because I'm rekindling that passion here a little bit with this product. Again, affiliate link is down below if you guys help support me in the channel buying any product from NOSSK. Stay tuned for some other stuff with them and maybe you might see a future giveaway. I'll just throw that out there. Thank you guys for watching.